It's Saturday morning and it's cold and snowy in Michigan. So let's swatch out some new colors.
So I'm going to try out some new colors and also a new paper. And I have purchased this for the very first time, a pad of Windsor Newton professional cold press paper. And the reason I'm evaluating this paper is because the Arches cold press paper, sometimes I wonder if it was a little less rough. And because sometimes when I want to do some fine lines, um, I have a little bit of a trouble. And, for the fine lines, I gravitate towards the hot press, but hot press tends to be a little bit more smooth, although I love the hot press for different reasons. So I'm on a mission to discover a paper that's somewhat in between for certain project ideas that I have or art ideas that I have. So I got the Windsor Newton professional paper for the very first time. I have never used this, and it looks a little bit less rough, so that's good news. And at the same time, I also want to uh, evaluate the quinacridone series 2 colors, mostly series 2, the quinacridones from Daniel Smith. And I have this dot card. It might be a little older, but I believe most of these colors are available on their website. I just checked. In fact, the quinacridone, Daniel Smith quinacridone colors are available as a set. At least their website says so. So a bit about quinacridone colors. They tend to be light fast and they're synthetic. They're not a natural pigment. That's why you can understand why they're light fast. And they have a special character to them. They are deep and they also give very even washes. So they're not they don't have so much of the granulating texture. They have a smooth texture, but at the same time, they are and they can show a lot of depth. They can be very dark and then translucent at the same time. So that's what I'm expecting. That's what I have understood. I've used a few quinacridone colors in past, and that's what I look forward to when I read that word. So let's get started. So I'm going to start with quinacridone burnt orange. Just trying to get the mouse tone. And that's always a problem with dot cards. No matter how hard you try, you cannot get the full strength because not that the color is less in amount, it's just because it's so dried out. Try to get a darkest line somehow so that we know. Yeah. So that's quinacridone burnt orange. Let's look at quinacridone burnt scarlet. I have very little of this. I was just trying this out in a small painting just before this. So, but I guess we'll be able to swatch it. Maybe not get the mass tone, but yeah. So quinacridone burnt scarlet. Let's take a look at quinacridone burnt deep gold. Sorry, quinacridone deep gold. it is gold. Very deep gold. The next color I have is Quinacridone Coral. It is kind of beautiful. A bit more, I would say, opaque, and I can see why. Seems like it has a bit of white to it. I'm not sure. I haven't checked the pigment content, but this seems like it has some white in it, and that's what is, you know, making it a little bit opaque. Not as dense, and you know, the range that you get with quinacridones, you don't get that in the coral. Let's get the darkest tone here, and that's about it. Can't get more than that. The next one is Quinacridone Fuchsia. It's somewhat in between a violet and a pink, but I'm not sure if it's competing very well with one of my favorite. Oh no, actually, it is sort of in between mineral violet and bright rose, two of my favorite colors from Holbein. Let's do the light hue here. Cool, looks nice. I think for me it's a little bit single dimensional. The more I'm looking at the fuchsia, I'm not sure whether it's going to make it to my list. So the next one is the Quinacridone Gold. This is a popular color and I have it and I use it. So this is not going to be new. But it's going to be interesting to see how it compares with the Quinacridone Deep Gold. Trying to get the mass tone here. So this one is the Quinacridone Deep Gold. Sorry, this one is the Quinacridone Gold, and this one is the Quinacridone Deep Gold, and this one is Quinacridone Burnt Orange. So I think they kind of form a range. But this one, I can see why it's so popular. It is just beautiful. I mean, I can't compare the absolute beauty of the color when I look at this one and this one. The deep gold is not winning for me. The next one is Quinacridone Magenta. This seems quite dense. Let's take a look. And it's rather easy to get on the brush. which is sometimes a good thing. Yeah, love that. I think that seems like a promising color. Easy to get onto the brush, very deep, and then look at this beautiful light hue. I'll be honest, this is the first color that kind of won my heart after Quinacridone Gold. I had a lot of hope from the coral, but it has sort of disappointed me. I feel it's a little bit too opaque for my liking. Others I'm not caring too much. Quinacridone Pink is the next one. Okay, as I am moving my brush on it, it's not as easy to get on my brush as the magenta was. So let's see. Yeah, I kind of like it. I guess this could be a contender. I'm liking the way it disperses. Okay, next one is the Quinacridone Red. Right off the bat, I'm feeling some opacity in it, which I said, which reminds me of yellow gray in Holbein, and I love that color. It has some opacity to it, but it's very different. It is I think it has multiple pigments in it, and this one kind of seems single dimensional to me. I mean, as I am moving my brush on it, I'm not liking it that much, but let's see. Yeah, as I expected. And again, a certain other artist might like it, but each one of us have our own style and our own goals with our art. So it's it doesn't cut it for me. So if I compare this into, I really like the dispersion here. It has more I wouldn't say drama. It has more variety to it. And I know when I move my brushes, I'm kind of doing the same thing. So want to just let you know, like moving the brush a similar fashion, right? It's not like I did something here and I'm getting two different dispersions. And I like the dispersion here versus here. And also it's very close. These two colors seem to be very, very close, the Quinacridone Pink and the Quinacridone Red. The next one is Quinacridone Rose, which actually I have heard of. I haven't used them. I haven't used it, but let's try. Okay, so this one is a little difficult to get on the brush, if you can see it. Yeah, it's taking a lot of work. Let's see. A sort of a I don't know how to describe it. It's sort of a weak color. I would say if any time you are you have a requirement where you don't want a color to overpower other colors, or you're doing a composition which is very subtle, then this might be a good choice. But does not have enough play for me. I mean, it does not have much play. I'm not enjoying painting with it as much as I loved these two here. So yeah, but like I said, it may work if you really want to do some very light leaves and you have a composition where you do not want to overpower the other colors. This can very much fade in the background. So the next one is Quinacridone Sienna. Seems like it's very close to the deep gold and the burnt scarlet and the burnt orange, but let's see. Yeah, it's very similar. I'm not sure if I needed another version of the ones that I have already swatched here. But yeah, more choices are always better than fewer choices. The next one on the palette is Quinacridone Violet. Oh wow, this one seems very staining, just a little touch and it's just right on my brush. So let's see. Yes, very deep, very characteristic of a quinacridone. And that's what I like. Like I say in my other videos as well, watercolor is more about you're one of the actors. The color, the paper, they do as much painting as my hand does. So the selection of color really plays a big part, and there is no right or wrong answer. If we choose colors that have less play, less movement, and they're sort of opaque, it gives a different composition. But if you're after something that is transparent and dynamic, then you're looking for the key quinacridone characteristics. That's where I think quinacridone colors can give you what you want. So the next one is Quinacridone Purple. Yes, this is very similar to the previous one, and it's a violet. It's reminding me of some of the violets that are my favorite. So this might be a good one. Yes, very intense. Yeah. Let's try and do another leaf with very dilute. Yes, this is a good one. I feel it's very violet, and anytime this is the color I'm going to remember. I mean, there are colors that you paint with and you forget, and then there are colors that you paint with and you don't. So this is the color that will stick in my memory, because it seems single pigment to me, but I'm not sure if it's single pigment. But it just has this true violet feel to it. So I'm looking at the coral again here. It does stand out in the row. As much as I did not like it when I was painting with it, if you look at all these colors, it does hold its ground. I think it's because it's sandwiched between all the quinacridone golds and siennas, but it is prettier than what I initially thought. So something to note. So the next one is quinacridone lilac. I'm not sure if it's a lilac. Let's paint it and see. It just seems more pink. Yeah, this seems more pink. But let's see. It's very easy to get on the brush. It's intense, but yeah, this one is it's very easy to get the mass tone, you know, which is what I was struggling with some of the colors here because they're in the dot card format. That's the disadvantage of a dot card. You know, it's hard to get the mass tone, but this one with the same amount was easier. So something to make a note of. But again, the close contenders would be your lilac, and I believe this one is the fuchsia, and no, I'm sorry, this one is the magenta, and this one is the pink. So still like these two so far, but we'll see. Cascade green. So this one is a series 1. So this one is going to be slightly different. It's not a quinacridone, but seems like an interesting color. Seems opaque, easier to get on the brush. I mean, not the easiest, but easier. Pretty color, but I'm not sure if it is one that gives me something that is very unique. So that was Cascade Green. I'm holding off. I'm not going to be quick on expressing my opinion on this one because I'm not sure. It's doing a few things that are different. I mean, look at the dispersion. It's showing some graining, which I like. Yeah, it's I like this graining, you know. So something to think about. So the next one is a series 2 color, an imperial purple. I'm not sure if it is a quinacridone. Doesn't say it is quinacridone. Very hard to get on the brush. A deep purple. Let's see what it does on the paper. So not as intense. Of course, it's not a quinacridone, but yeah, I don't know what to say about it. I'm not 100% bought in, but this could be too soon. We'll have to see how they dry out. The next one is Wisteria. I don't know if I'm saying it accurately. Wow, I got a little bit of a mess here. Let me see if I can get rid of the orange. Let's try and get just the wisteria. Very opaque, hard to get on the brush. This must be some unique pigment that they're trying to bring in. Yes, very light. So I'm not sure if it even has a mass tone. I mean, in traditional sense. I don't think I have seen a color that light. So that is interesting. So that was Wisteria. The next one is Burnt Sienna Light. So I'm sure we're going to see some orange here again. Very hard to get on the brush. This has been the hardest. So I'm not sure what to say. Yeah, one of the lightest color in the series, I believe. So it says light, and it is light. But I'm not sure if I were to take the transparent hues of these, and I wouldn't get the same color. So something to think about. What is so unique about it? I'm not sure. The next one on the list is Lavender. Again, very hard to get on the brush. It's going to be very light. Again, this is one of the lightest colors that I have ever experienced, so that's unique about them. Wow, I really love that. I can't believe I'm saying this. I haven't experienced a pigment that light, and strangely, it's motivating me to do a composition with very light pigments, maybe the lilac, the wisteria, and the purple. This one is, I believe, just off the charts. It's just so light. It's just hardly there. The next one is the Aussie Red Gold. Very yellow, very staining. I can feel that right off the bat. Interesting. Just look at that. I don't think I have experienced something that stains so quickly, and so that's Aussie Red Gold. I'm not sure what the pigments are, but it is interesting, and it would be, something to look at, So here I have a color that's so light that it's hardly there, and this one is very staining, very staining. Payne's Blue Gray is the next one. You might hear about Payne's Gray a lot, especially Windsor Newton's Payne's Gray. I believe, if I'm not wrong, I believe Windsor Newton's Payne's Gray is very popular. But this one is hard to get on the brush. So I don't know. Let's see. Yes, I think I like it. It is gray, and not going to bet on the mass tone. I think this has got to do with the dot card. Yes, I think I like this color. Nice. This is what I expect, and yeah, something to look forward to. The next is the Raw Sienna Light. Okay, so this is another one which is very hard to get on the brush. I mean, it's hardly there. I'm just moving my brush and all I have is water. This one even beats the lavender. Yep, it's hardly there. I'm not sure if I were to use it in a... Okay, so I think it is coming alive now, but that's a lot of work. Good luck activating it if you have it in your pen. But a pigment is its pigment. It has to be valued for its characteristics. So there might be cases where you might need something like this. So something to note. I don't think I can get the mass tone. So Rose Madder Permanent. What I know about Rose Madder, it's a natural pigment and it's also fugitive. So let's see. It says permanent, so maybe they did something to it. Another one of those very subtle, very light color. Not the lightest, but definitely hard to get on the brush and very subtle, very light. The last one in this set is Lunar Black. I think I've heard about it. I don't know if I have used it. It's a black, non-staining, very hard to get on the brush, very subtle. So we'll see. This is an interesting color. I know there are artists, and quite a few artists, who just don't pay attention to black. They just want to mix a color that is not black and just maybe never use a true black because it's supposed to muddy your paintings, which it does. But I'm of the philosophy that I don't want to just exclude something. I want to try it and I want to see what are the options or what are the opportunities where I can use it. And in fact, when I look at it and I see how it's drying, I'm loving the granulation in it. I believe this is the only color that seems granulating in this list. So I'm actually liking this Lunar Black. So the swatch palette has dried out completely, and I am having a change of heart. As it dries out, I don't know why, I'm just loving it more and more. Just to see all these colors laid out like that, right next to each other, just is warming my heart, and I'm just looking at it. I can't stop looking at it. I do agree that some of the oranges and the siennas and golds are very close to each other, but as you can see, they're all not too close. Like, you can tell the difference between each. Maybe if I had to be very harsh, I can say that the burnt orange and sienna are very close to each other, but yet I can see the difference. This is far more redder and staining compared to this one. This has some granulation here. Maybe this and this is close to each other, but this one is far more yellower and dense, and this one is a bit more granulation. So what can I say? I mean, it's really giving me a very warm feeling, and especially when you do florals. This can be an excellent avenue to explore, to use colors from this range. The series, the Quinacridone and the series 2, I think there are a few series 1 colors included, but I know that Cascade Green was not part of series 2. It is probably series 1, yes. But wow, look at this color. It looks so awesome, and can't say enough about Lunar Black. I love Lunar Black so much that I didn't want to do veining on it. I mean, I was just floored by the granulation and the mixing that is showing the very beautiful granulation that it is revealing to me. Same can be said about the blue-gray. So while I was doing this, I did not see this coming, that this whole palette is, I'm loving it more when I see it like this. There is a range of purples here, right, and lilacs. Look at the lavender. It's so subtle. I don't think I've seen a color so subtle. And same goes for the raw sienna light. Not so much raw sienna light, but lavender is just absolutely beautiful. The burn mark is really, like, it's stealing my heart. Yes, I will definitely include some colors from this palette, and I feel like my whole morning was worthwhile doing this. I'm loving this page more and more as I look at it and after it has dried out. A bit about the Windsor Newton cold press paper. Yes, as I expected, it is a little less rough, and it also is playing very well with this Daniel Smith colors. They always say that you don't experiment with two things at the same time, because you can't say whether it's the paper or it's the color, but I'm sure the colors are playing a big, huge role in here. But I'm loving the paper as well. This definitely is a option for me, the Windsor Newton cold press paper. It is definitely a little bit smoother, so when I'm doing outlines and I'm doing veining, it's a little bit easier compared to the arches. And that's it. I mean, not saying that arches has its own quality. I'm sure when I swatch these colors on arches, some of the granulation will be enhanced, and because I know that paper so well. But this has its own beauty. The Windsor Newton has its own beauty. I think it's bringing out a little bit more subtlety in these colors. Just the swatches are convincing me every bit that this is the palette for the florals. So I'm sure I will be selecting a few colors from this, and I'll be ordering those. And this year I did wish to expand my Daniel Smith palette, and I have been very well versed with the whole wine palette, but I wanted to explore more into the Daniel Smith. So this was the goal behind swatching this whole line, and it definitely has some winners for me. So I hope you enjoyed this session, and I hope you found this useful.